Well, let's start streaming, all right? Welcome back. We are live. Let me get the chat, Chizzy chat, all the way up. Reset window, let's go. Gonna be a relatively short stream. I'm actually on early for once, even though I've been saying 1:30, been pushing it back to 2 and 3 lately, but here we are. And we did some work last night, stayed up pretty late, slept in a little bit, but yeah, man. So woke up this morning, had a little coffee, did about 20 minutes of drawing from memory, and I feel pretty good. I think today we're going to work on another comic book page. We'll see how far we get, but I kind of like the process I had last time, where I drew sort of just an ink sketch. But yeah, two people watching. Make sure you leave a comment. Check out the links in the window. Twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. Probably the most important link up there. If you guys subscribe to that, tell a friend to subscribe. I need at least 50 subscribers ASAP. Actually, let's make a quick media post, a quick social media post. You guys are tuning in to Live Drawing with Nelly. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will show you guys my drawing desk in a minute. Let me just make a post here. Hope you guys are doing well today. 1:51 on the East Coast. It's Wednesday, Hump Day, April 15th. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you leave a comment and subscribe to the link on the screen, twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. I really need your support, if you guys don't mind. I'm gonna be doing a little drawing today, maybe like a 2-hour sketch. Been trying to work more from imagination, at least for these early sketches. But yeah, no preparation today. I just kind of hit the record button, and here we are live on stream. But I do want to send a message out. Subscribe to, let's say, I need 50 subscribers on Twitch. Please support twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. Please support. Registration is simple. It's free. Twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. All right. There we go. Get the message out there. Tell a friend to tell a friend about us. Live Drawing with Nelly. Leave a comment as you come on in. Live Drawing with Nelly on YouTube as well. Nelly INKS on all social media and platforms. Hope you guys are doing well today. Hope you guys got some good news in the mail, hopefully. All right, if not, well, we're all here, and I'm here to keep you all company for the next couple hours. Gonna do a little drawing. Now I can get rid of my Facebook window because things get a little upsetting quick on the social media. But yeah, you guys see the links on the page. I'm gonna fix my windows here. 2 people watching, please leave a comment. Subscribe to the links on the screen. No. All right, let's stay here. I'm going to bring up one image. Did some inking last night. Pretty happy, but it looks a little rough because it's not properly cropped. But you'd be surprised how rough some of the final pages look before they actually print them or scan them and print them. But let's bring up my window here. Actually, let's go to Restream just to make sure everything is chilly chill. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Live drawing with Nelly. Live drawing with Nelly. If you guys like the contents of this video, make sure you subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is via the donation. Make donation be the best nation. You guys can donate to my Venmo at Nelly INKS and also the Cash App $Nelly INKS. Really, truly appreciate the support. I understand it's a tough time for everybody, but we're all trying to do what we can. But yeah, if anything, just subscribe to the channel. That's free and easy. No need to donate it if you can't. I understand. But really, truly appreciate anyone who does. Another way you can support the channel is by ordering my latest comic, Almighty Alma. My latest comic is on NelsonANunez.com. You guys can go check it out and order if you guys would like. Really appreciate that. I'm just going to silence my phone here and plug in my computer as well. Today I pretty much just pressed a button and here we are streaming, so getting more comfortable with the setup I got here, even though not the most, it's pretty good. I'm not going to complain about the setup. Pretty happy. All right. Okay, sweet. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you leave a comment as you come on in. Let me know you're listening. Appreciate the support. Leave a kind word or two before we get into these drawings. Let's see what we got up here. Oh yeah, let me just fix my screen here. I'm gonna just show you guys my last page. Plus, we are live on twitch.tv/nellyinks. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave a comment and subscribe to my Twitch. You see the link on the screen. Yes, sir. Image 7, 8. Go. Downloads. Oh, here we go. Bada bing. Oh, why isn't it just uploads it automatically? Alright, well, you guys, why is this so big? Hold on, guys. Gotta resize this here. This is the biggest page ever. Alright. A few things I gotta clean up there. Most of that gets cleaned up in Photoshop, but here we go. Alright, that should be big enough. That's pretty big still. Okay, so we finished this page last night. I'll leave it up there. Bada bing. And let me make this a little smaller. Cool. Alright, so you see the page there that we worked on yesterday. I cropped it to what it's supposed to look like, so that's pretty good there. Yeah, hey, what's up, Kit Kat? Thanks for joining. How's it going today? We're doing pretty well here. Just got the page up there for you guys to look at that we worked on last night. Pretty happy with it. Still pretty rough. I have a few speech balloons I gotta get. In there. I'm probably just gonna use a little whiteout. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. A little rougher than some of the other ones I did. It was kind of a trickier layout than the others, but today, let me switch up my screen here. If I do that, all right, here we are. I gotta figure out where this dongle is because I'm gonna be off tomorrow, and this is gonna be a relatively short stream today. Here's the original page, but I'm supposed to get this sort of connection adapter situation that is supposed to clean up the image. Oops. All right. So yeah, today I thought I would just sketch for a couple hours. I can show you guys the original. Well, first I make a little thumbnail of what I want the composition to look like. Let's hold on one second. I'm just gonna mute. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back. Shout yourself out in the comment section. I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right, my people. So we have updates on my dongle. Apparently it's out of stock and it's never been delivered. All right, so we will see. We're gonna just have to deal with it, unfortunately. I wish the picture could look as clear as that photo, like for real, but that's how good the image should look like once I do get this adapter. But so bear with me until we get that. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Unfortunately, they're out of stock, so let me see if I can sharpen this image a little bit more. That's too sharp. All right, let me try this. Still pretty rough, huh? Alright, well today will be a short stream anyways, so I'll do a little more research and see if there's another spot that's not sold out. Let's see. Nope, I was just getting. Let's see if I can sharpen this up anymore. Alright, well that'll have to do for now, unfortunately. Unless I have any other effects. Let's see. Color correction, image mask, blend, render delay, scaling, image mask, crop pad, color correction. Okay. Oh no. Alright. Well, it is what it is. We'll deal with it. But you guys have the original page there with the proper crop. And it's a high-res image. Let me just get my webcam back up here. And lower this one. Boom. Alright. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/nellyinks. Could use the support. If you guys want to check out my latest comic work, it's over on nelsonanunes.com. You guys can read Almighty Alma there. Don't know what's happening to my hair. It's all up in the screen, but I'm not even in there, bro. There we go. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so organize my screens here. Bring up a little podcast. Boom. Got the chat up. Shout yourself out in the comment section. Would love to hear from you. Let me show you the process. Sorry about all the ruffling. So normally I'll make a to review. Here's the process. Alrighty. So I made other thumbnails, but this is sort of like the final thumbnail. Let me show you. I'll show you here. So you guys see the thumbnail here. So that was the original sketch, and then I played around with it. I try to keep these thumbnails as simple as possible. Try to tell the story in as few panels and pictures as possible. You know you have a strong story if the imagery itself tells a story. So there it is. So I start with the thumbnail, and then I'll do a few different sketches, maybe in a sketchbook, and then eventually I'll do a sketch like this. You guys see the screen? I'll do something like that where I, you know, just go into it with ink, maybe do some rough shading like that, or whatever. I also, before this, I actually made a charcoal sketch, like this here is charcoal, so I was able to do more like perspective drawings by doing that. Let's see, there's a few things I need to clean up on the page, but it's fine. So something like this, I use these sort of like cross lines, so I don't really need to get into details, but the cross here for the eyes and the nose sort of show the position of the head. And then I ended up blowing up that figure. You guys see the final drawing, so I could just get a close-up of the head. So I like how that turned out, especially the lighting there. And then what else? So after that, I did a sketch like this. After I finally blew it up, and then I finally traced it over and played around with, actually I kind of went into it with the inking. So I traced this over to my final sheet, and I was pretty confident with this underdrawing. This panel was pretty tricky, so I saved that for last, and I probably went over it with the tracing paper and looked at some references because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to make these guys look, but they're kind of wearing protective gear because this story is about a plague, ironically enough. And I've been writing Almighty Alma for the last year, even though this is a reboot of the story. It always dealt with sort of like a plague that drives humans crazy, and it turns them into monsters. So, yeah, pretty interesting what's going on nowadays. But hey, I gotta finish the story, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Sorry, let me put down my coffee. Okay, so I also made these sort of like character sketches, designs. This is Alma down here. I was just sort of playing around. But definitely a good idea to do something like this. Also, another thing that we illustrators might want to do, and I need to do this more often. Actually, where are, okay. So, let's see. I need something I can draw on. I could draw on this. What's this? In the back. Okay. It's just almost sneezing there. So one thing you might want to do, not just character sketches, but also the sketches of your environment. And one way you could do so is just by drawing the plan view. So plan view. Plan view is the overhead view. So how can I get this closer? Boom. Look at that. You could zoom in on command there. Look at that. Cool. So plan view is sort of the overhead view of your location. Let's pretend like, you know, you could draw some lines in perspective to show the room. That might also help you. But the idea of this is just to organize what you want in your setting. So it's actually supposed to be that it looks like a side view now. But I guess you could use that, but normally you want to do the overhead view. So let me just erase these perspective lines. So yeah, again, overhead view. And you might even want to break this, well, break it down into a grid if you want. But the idea is, let's say I'm doing this room. So over here, we have my door that you guys see over here in the corner. Over here, we have my calendar. This room is actually quite narrow, but that's fine. So doorway is right there in this room. Over here, you have my desk. And then over here, you have my chair. That's me. Okay. Cool. And then what else? We have maybe this lamp. There's also a big mess in that corner. What else do we have? We have some materials here. And then over here we have, this is a closet. So you could even write closet there. And then what else is in this room? Some storage up here. And there's also another room. And that's pretty much it. I don't have much else in this room. I have my camera over here. So that's one thing you want to do. And then finally, it just helps you organize the room. Another thing you can do is sort of break it down into a grid. And you could say 1 square equals, is big enough to have a person in there. So maybe that could just be like 1 or 2 feet long. What else can I say? And then eventually you have to make this into a 3D shape. So unfortunately I have other drawings here, but alright, let me bring this here. So what's a way to do this? So if you haven't made squares in perspective or rectangles in perspective, it's a good idea to start doing so. It's a lot of fun once you get into it to make form. So let's say this is my floor here. And this is still the plan view. The plan view. So let's bring my sketch in again. Let's say I had my table here, and I had my stool and my camera, and then the lamp here. So then we go into the 3D model. So from there you can start building out your floor from there again, and then build the walls. And now we know that here is supposed to be a desk. So we can start building our desk out. Okay, and then we know that here we have a lamp, so the lamp is in this corner. And we could just draw a stick, just simple shapes, you know. Let's see. Here we have my stool. Okay, and then we can make a square of it. It's a little tough to see, I know. But that's the idea, to make it more of a 3D object. This is nice and simple. Again, my character sketch is a little more involved, and this sketch would be probably more involved if I was doing it a little more properly. But both of these are pretty simple. This is pretty simple. I didn't spend too much time with it to sort of get an idea and trying to warm up and work from memory. And then same thing with here, working from memory. But keep it simple, simple shapes, circles, squares, triangles, you name it. And that's pretty much it. You don't even need to really grid things out, but it might help if you just end up gridding out here. If you do make a square or a rectangle in perspective, like so, let's say I just make a random square in perspective. To find the middle of that square or rectangle, you make an X, and X marks the spot, and that's the middle of your rectangle in perspective. Then you can draw a straight line out and make a line parallel to the ones on the side, and then break down squares like this. Keep doing it, and you'll eventually have a grid in perspective. Here we go. Like that. So now we have a, 1, 2, 3, 4 by 4 grid. And now I can, place my table better if I like to. And then, but I could get really involved with that. We could do that another day. Again, I'm going to upload lesson plans on my YouTube and probably just go live uniquely to Twitch. We'll see. It's working out fine just to upload or stream on multiple sites at the same time, but yeah, I think I want to differentiate a little bit between my Twitch and my YouTube, especially because if I do start playing music, if it works on Twitch, it might not work on YouTube, and then I'll get copyright strikes when I didn't want them. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe. You see my links on the page. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yes. All right, so let's look at what I wanted to do next. And this is going to be a pretty big page dedicated to my main character here. You guys see her in the middle of the page, but she's still pretty small. Her hair color is different because it's actually going to get whited out. That area is supposed to be a speech balloon. And then she's also going to say something to the guy. So I had an original story about her coming into the cell. She's complaining about allergies and she doesn't want to go in the cell, and the guards are about to laugh at her, saying, "Oh, that's a good joke. I'm trying not to get imprisoned." Originally she was going to go in there and get picked on by some inmates, or not inmates, but people detained in there, because it's not a prison, it's a detention center. So, however, you might have desperate people in there, So she was either going to get picked on there, but I'm feeling a little more empathetic for the people imprisoned, or the story is empathetic to people that are detained. So I think she's going to actually annoy the guards to the point that they get frustrated with her and try to reprimand her. And you see my other character here with the tattoos. I think she'll step in. So let's see. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to work from imagination. We've been live for 30 minutes, so I won't dilly-dally for long. I'm going to do it like I did the last one. I'll keep this on the side here for more shelf. No, it's going to fall off. But I'll keep that next to me. And I'll keep that over there. I do need a ruler. BRB. Got the most annoying headache today. Because I didn't get much sleep. I was having too much fun playing PlayStation. And then inking this page. So it goes. Oh yeah, I need one more thing, sorry. Let me get up again. I get knocked down. And I get up again. And I have another take me down. Knocked down. And I get up again. And I have another take me down. And I get knocked down. And I get up again. Oh, Danny boy. Alright. Alright, so I told you guys about my X-Acto knife. X-Acto knife helps you trim down your paper, and also helps you shave down your pencils, for instance. So normally, let me switch my screen here. Get rid of boom. Cool, that's fine. So your pencil here, not bueno, isn't doing anything much. There's hardly a tip of lead there. So with your X-Acto knife, get your parents to help you with this. Otherwise, we also have our usual, usual situation. So I'll show you the difference real quick. Let's see. See people watching. Make sure you leave a comment if you're new to the channel. Appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. Twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. Might actually fix this up here. Or is it? Boom. And I do want to put a outline. Boom. Now you see it. Alright, so I'll put it in front of me. This tip is nice, very nice actually, but you can get it nicer with an X-Acto knife, and I'll put this here. and sandpaper. So take your X-Acto knife, just open it up a little bit, something like that, and then your pencil, and you want to sort of whittle down, voila, just whittle down a little bit like this, away from you obviously. Make sure you got your parents, or kids shouldn't be doing this. Adults going to art school should be, so that they can get more out of their pencil than they realize. So now we have something like, there, something like that. Keep whittling down to see how long you want to get it, and until you expose a little more lead. So something like that. And this is, that much is exposed. I'm gonna whittle even further. So yeah, kids don't do this at home. Only art school students should be doing this, because this can get a little tricky, but I haven't actually cut myself. This should be pretty easy. But yeah, pencil sharpener works, but when it comes to making fine art drawings, it helps to have a longer tip. So originally it looks like this, but now you'll have a little more tip if you start whittling down around the sides. So this is good. This will be better, especially if you can have a sharp point like that. So whittle down some more. So now you just want to get rid of the wood around the lead, pretty much. Doing this over my keyboard, which is great. I'm probably getting dust particles in there, no big deal. Show you guys this. And I'm not going to actually be using pencil, I don't think, for this. I'm going to just be using ink. But this I always wanted to show you guys on stream. Just in case you're wondering, if you ever see my pencils with a long tip, this is how I do it. I did need a well-sharpened pencil last night, so there we go. Alright, so then you have something like this, which gives you a lot of flexibility. If you ever, it just gives you so much flexibility, and you still have a sharp point. Make sure you close your X-Acto knives. Don't want any problems. And yeah, and then you take your sandpaper like this. This is all charcoal from yesterday. So then you go down like this, put your pencil on it, and sharpen it down. Now you'll even have a longer point than what you would have had. If, let me just do this. Than what you would have had if you only had sharpened it. But again, kids shouldn't be doing this. Only art school students should be at least 18 and older. Although I taught a class of kids and that they were in wood shop, so I assume if you're already taking wood shop, this should be a piece of cake. But still, talk to your parents before you do this. I just wanted to show this on stream. Alright, and then you'll have a lot of charcoal or graphite. You could actually save that, and I'm going to end up doing a lot of different things on this stream today, since we're just working from imagination. So here's my sharpened point, a lot sharper than what it was originally. Cool, and then I'll switch my screen here, right click, get rid of that. Alright, so like I said, look at this sharp point. Now I can actually, normally we draw like this, I write my name. But when you have a long point like that, you're actually going to be working from the end of your pencil like this. Instead of like this, you're going to be on the end of it. So now you can really, really maneuver that line. I'm going to just do the side of someone's face like this, see? You can make longer lines. You have a little more flexibility. Let's do a person's face here. Quick drawing. And then you can start having your lines across. This is going to be their ear. Okay. You see that? You just have so much control. Alrighty, like this. Alrighty. So yeah, just a lot of control if you do something like this. Well, something like that, whatever. You see what I mean. And then if you want, you could really get in there. You would like. Okay, whatever. Other things, like I said, you'll have leftover. All right, you'll have leftover charcoal that I collected here, or graphite if you are working with graphite. I'm going to take out these little wood chips in here. And finally, one thing you can do with your leftover graphite, I'm going to need one more thing. I'll probably need you'll need a soft cloth, soft cloth. Let's see if I have one in my handy dandy toolbox. There should be one in here somewhere. To fly. But I ain't got wings. Alright, you also want gloves when you're working with ink, so I'll put that there. Soft cloth, soft cloth. Oh, I have cloth everywhere. Okay. This is my big tube of white acrylic paint. White acrylic paint. I'm going to probably leave that out here if I ever need it, so I don't forget. Alright, that'll do. Yeah, that'll do. Forget about it. Okay. So yeah, if you're painting, you might end up buying a cloth like this. It's a really good rag to use when you're painting instead of just a crappy paper towel or a tissue. These rags are a little better. Again, I understand art supply stores might all be closed. But one thing we can do here, so didn't expect to be doing this, but could be something you guys end up using. So you have your sheet of paper, and if you have some here, If you do have some charcoal or graphite collected from sanding down your pencils, you can, how can I do this? Okay, so I'm going to lay my paper down. Actually, let me switch my screen. And you don't need to see this image right here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I have my paper laid down like this, flat, and I'm just going to empty out my charcoal onto my paper, like that. And now, so charcoal on my paper like that. Now you want to use, you probably want it flat actually. Is that going to be fine? Let me switch my screen again. Voila. So you have something like this with your rag, das rag. You're going to go around and soft rag, you know. This is actually charcoal paper, so this is maybe why it looks pretty good. And I wanted to go over my drawing. Maybe I still can. Okay. Cool. So this is called toning your paper. Okay. So when you do tone your paper, and I do have a drawing in here somewhere. Let me see if I put that down. I want to have a nice even tone if you can. Even tone. Sweet, so now I've got a drawing in there somewhere. I'm going to use my Ticonderoga pencil, Ticonderoga number 2, HB. And there's a drawing in here somewhere. I see the eye, so let's just bring out the eye by erasing out like the white parts of the eye. Okay, so now that's slowly coming out. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys. So there's a drawing in there somewhere, and we're gonna find it. Let's say we have a side light, maybe some highlights here on the cheek. This is called a subtractive drawing, reduction technique, whatever you will. Basically, you're subtracting by taking out, so reduction technique. Okay, so maybe we have some light there. Let's see. You have to follow the form of the figure. What else? Maybe we have some highlights here above the eye. And we can go in with our charcoal or a pencil and, okay, give the character eyebrows. Okay. Maybe I'll work on the nose a little bit. Maybe there's that. Let me close up the eyes a little bit more. And also make this a little darker. Okay. And the cheek. Maybe do that. Maybe tone this down a little bit. Put a little more highlights there. Highlights there. And your eraser works a lot like a pencil as well. You can, with your pencil, you can have very light lines like that. Actually, let me do it over here. You can have very light lines or you can have very dark lines. The same thing with your eraser, but you have to do it in the tone. So you can have very light lines like this, you can barely see, or you can have very, very light lines like that. When I talk about this, sometimes I want to say you can have light lines or you can have dark lines, which is, that's dark. I mean, it's the same strength as this line over here, but just with an eraser and it's white. But let's bring out the lips. And maybe there's a highlight on the lower lip, highlight on the top of the lip. So now we have a multi-tonal drawing. We have the tone of the pencil, which is one. We have the tone of the paper, and then we have the tone of the eraser. So 3-tone drawing there. Another thing maybe where a better example might actually be a simple ball. And let's say we have a light coming from this side. Okay, so of course this is I'm gonna work very lightly, this little ball. So let's say that's where we have a bit of a highlight. And then everything else, we know this is gonna be a shadow. Okay. So look at that. I did a basic circle, a 2D circle, but already with this little bit of a light effect. Let's zoom in. Wow, really? That's as close as it got? Okay. Sure, okay. All right, so we put our little cast shadow, but because light is still hitting and probably reflecting off this surface, whatever surface the ball is on, you get a little reflection back here called the reflective light. And that light's going to be not as strong as obviously when you put the light directly on. So let me erase this just so it looks like light. Cool. So there we have some light. And you can even, so you want to obviously mention, okay, this is all probably in light, and then we turn over and there's going to be shadow here. And then there's going to be that reflective light there. But obviously there's something called the highlight. And you could, actually, if you look at my webcam, I do have a reflective light over here. It's more of a secondary light source. And then over here, and then on my nose, you have the highlights. So I definitely have a stronger light here. But I have even stronger lights on like the bridge of my nose. So that's called the highlight. And it would appear at the very top of your drawing. So I'm going to erase really deep into it. And maybe you see a little bit of it. Cool. I'm going to actually shade this down some more and go into that light spot. And I could even tone down my reflective light. The darkest shadows are going to be those cast shadows right underneath the ball there. So now let's go over the dark part of my moon or my ball here. So now we can tell we have a shadow. And I went into the light a little bit just so I can. Alright, I'm going to go lightly, but I really want this highlight to just really show. There you go. So I think that should look like something there. Cool. And so the cast shadow here is going to be the darkest shadow, but also the shadow So it's called the Terminator, the shadow that directly between the shadow mask and the light mask. So on a smooth surface like a ball, you're not really going to get a strong Terminator, but you still will get a sort of idea. And I'm going to work the shadow backwards so I can darken down my shadow area more. We could, so you see a slight, I try to keep it light because, again, this is a smooth surface, so you're not going to get a very strong indicator like that. And let's bring out. Okay, now we really got a strong highlight. I'm going to actually shade into this a little bit more. So you darken the light, and it's only so I can bring out the highlight even more. So we almost have 3 versions of the light here. Cool. And then you could even smudge it a little bit down and then bring out the highlight that way. Cool. So yeah, actually this light is still a little too dark for my liking. There you go. Well, that's just a quick example of the reduction technique, especially if you're making more fine art drawings. It's really fun to do so. Again, let's say I have a figure here and there's some light on the side, you know, and then you go in, you've made the difference between the light and the shadow. Now you go in with your pencil and darken down the areas that are in shadow. Like that. The hair, maybe the sides of the temples here. So this is all in shadow. Do some here. And then you can go in with your eraser. Just all of this just to explain that your eraser is also a tool for drawing, not just for fixing mistakes. So that's it. Little quick lesson there. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. I still have a headache, so I'm going to drink some Vasa. That's just one way to build out form. Here's another way to build your, if you guys don't know how to draw cubes, maybe look up a quick demonstration of how to do so. The same thing, the lights have a direction, but if the light's coming up here, then we can say this is in this is in light. And I'll do this for the light again. So we can say this is in light. Let's say maybe we have the cast shadow over here. And you do it in the direction parallel with the lines. Okay, so we had this line, so all of these shadow lines are going to go in that direction. You can say if the light's coming here, then it's definitely not hitting the side, so we can bring that down in value. Try not to get too dark right away. Just lay a tone that you look at and it reads obviously as shadow. So here, this is probably the Terminator between the dark and shadow, so that's going to be pretty dark there, and as dark as this. Let's see what else. And yeah, there we have 3 tones. This could probably get toned down just a little bit as well. There you go, and you can do that. Play around with the lights, see what happens if you hit it from here or from the front. And just play around with it until you feel comfortable that you can make realistic drawings like that. And let me move on. Hope you guys got a little something out of that. If you did, subscribe to the channel, for there will be more. Oh yes. Alright, we just hit the 1 hour mark. Easy clap, easy clap. Shout yourself out in the comment section if you already have not. Let me tool around here for a second. I'm going to do a little less talking now and a little more action. So let me bring my image back up. Bada bing. And the image we will be drawing. Oh yeah, I have my ruler here for a reason. You guys see my tools. An X-Acto knife is important. A straight edge ruler is important. Sandpaper. Any sort of sharpener really. A regular pencil sharpener is fine, but if you can get an X-Acto knife and you're 18 and older, probably it's gonna be fine. But yeah, definitely need a ruler, a pencil sharpener, and paper, and you're ready to go, more or less. But the ruler's so effective, especially because I've been doing way more perspective drawings for these compositions, that just having the ruler helps you get the right measurements. Anyway, hope this has been... Oh, and also an eraser. So let's say what we have here. It's a 9 by 13.5, I'm pretty sure. 13.5. All right. So 9. Put it up here. Oh, look at that mean. That mean ween. All right. Well, it's even on the page, so 9 by 13. Okay. Oops. Mm-mm-mm. 9 by 13. Goes a little higher. I'll probably bring this down a little bit on this side. Actually, yeah, I'll bring this down a half so you guys can see it. And bring this up an inch. I think that's fine. And going across. I know comic book artists use the T-square, the T-square ruler. I don't love that ruler, so I'm pretty simple here. You know, I would get a ruler. They're so cheap anyways, you might as well just get a ruler. It's not just for the straight edge, but for the measurements too, if you ever need to make a grid, or, you know, it just goes, just big value for your buck. Big value. This is a little out of order. Okay. So there's my, there's the page that I'm going to draw next. And she's sneezing here. Okay. So my idea is to make a drawing in this sort of loose style from imagination without really getting too carried away with the drawing. Maybe do that for 20 minutes. There's 2 panels there and it's introducing the main character, so I do want to sorry, where's my ruler? I put it down somewhere. Oh, I do want to finish your sentence, bro. Jeez. I do want to dedicate this page to her. So she's going to cover most of the page. Something like that. It could be like a second sort of splash page. Let me just check my messages here. Appreciate you all tuning in. Alright, let me see something. I'm just going to go on mute here for a second. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Cool, apologies for that. I'm going to draw for the next hour in 20-minute increments. Yes. Make sure you leave a comment if you already haven't. Go check out my Twitch page if you already have not. Twitch.tv/nellyinks. Kind of crooked there, but it's okay. Alright, I can erase this. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna pull up another reference. Let me switch my screen here again. Bada bing. Okay. So, if you're watching on Facebook, please check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/nellyinks. You see the link below. I truly appreciate it. Read One Piece Chapter Piece is just an amazing comic. I have it somewhere, but I'm just going to look at some references online. Okay. Alright. Yeah, that page is about the first page that the main character gets introduced, fills up at least, if not more than half of the page. So, what did I say I would do here? That's on this side, so this page that you see here, one segundo, boom. So one page, I keep mixing up my words. So this page here is probably going to be the page on the left, and then you'll have the rest of the page over here. You have page 2 or whatever, I believe. Let me look at my thumbnails. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. So I'll probably move. Yeah, you see it. I'll probably move the panels over a little off the margin. And if I ever have any panels that go up on the right here, they're going to go all the way to the margin here. So you can show that the information is moving that way and away from the corner of the page. So, for example, I can like maybe bring this page down here, maybe even more than half. I don't know what the thirds are broken down into. Maybe something like that. If I had equal, yeah. So I could even keep these margins the same. I wanted to do the opposite actually. Okay, so alright, well, I did this backwards actually. So I might have mentioned before, my main character has a quirk. She is allergic, but it turns out that she is allergic to bad intentions. And so when she does show up in this detention center, she says her allergies are killing her, but it's because there's plenty of bad intentioned people there. Not really the inmates, but not really the detainees, but the detainers. So yeah, like I said, we're going to move our margins away from the left margin since this is the page on the left, and this would be the crease between the two pages. So we're going to bring it up all the way to the right margin so that it moves left to right. Let me do this again actually. I was going to do this with ink, but 1 second. Okay, so let's see if this is here. Let me look at my example. Yeah, okay, so I can. Always use examples. Someone's done it before you. It's really good practice. Don't be shy. Everyone uses references. Alright. Okay, so you see the page here. Bring this down a little bit. Sweet. And then we'll move the margin here. And the page will be there. Like that. And here I'm not going to, we'll know where the margin is, but I'm not going to outline it on my drawing, on my sketch, or my final piece. I don't need to, I'll outline this, but I don't need to, I'll leave that alone because it's just going to fold into the crease. And you don't really see it. And it's going to get cropped anyway, so yeah, let's get to drawing. Okay. So in my example, well, not my example, but I got crap in my nose. What the heck? I just can't get it out. I'm not sick. It's just either allergies of my own. It's gross. Maybe a warm shower will help clear my sinuses a little bit. Let's see. So in the last page, we get introduced to the detention center, to a new character. We get introduced to Alma, finally getting, not quite the introduction, but we get a glimpse of Alma. And then they open the door, clink. Probably should have picked a better onomatopoeia, but whatever, you know, we got to get this comic done. Clink, yeah, door opens. The character that we get introduced to looks over and sees Alma getting brought inside. Alma in the speech balloons is protesting that she has allergies and no way she can go in there. The guards say she's a funny comedian and that they'll see her later, threatening her. And she mouths off at them. And on this page that we're going to be working on, the guard, I'm going to experiment with having a different little story to this. I had one version of the story, but you're always, especially when you're doing comics, maybe not so much for other media, but in comics and in writing, you're going to be revising your stories often, you know, or hopefully not often. Hopefully you have a draft that you don't have to revise, and that's good, and you know, but even the best drafts I feel like still get touched up a little bit. So in this story, especially because I wanted the story to just, some of the best stories are just page turners, and you read them and you're like, it just flies by, you know. So I want this story to be a page turner. So far, I think I've done that. You know, it's okay. There's been action, and the pages look good, but I can only get so far with just, you know, nicely drawn pages. I need some action. This is a story about a female vigilante, so let's get some action going. So I think it'll be interesting if if the guards go ahead and try to discipline Alma after she mouths off at them. So in this panel, Alma gets brought into the cell, and she's about to sneeze as one of the guards sort of, you know, tightens up his gloves, maybe to reprimand her. And here she finally sneezes, and she's going to sneeze like that, maybe avoiding the discipline from the guard, which obviously ticks him off. And in the next page, we're going to have our character up here, Lydia, tentative name, but it's my grandma's name. But she's actually a skilled person herself, so she's going to go help out, realizing that it might be time to escape this center because they've attacked the guards. So, yeah, it should be pretty fun. Pretty fun story. That was page 3, page 4. Within the first 4 or 5 pages of your comic, you want to get it going. You want to get a fire started, for sure. Get the sparks out. So yeah, let's go. I can use some references down here if I do need. Let's put on my podcast. I appreciate you guys listening again, as always. Welcome to Live Drawing with Nelly. This is your boy, Nelly INKS. If you guys like the contents of this video and you want to support the channel, best way to do so is by donation. Make donation be the best nation. Donate to Nelly INKS on Venmo, at Nelly INKS on Venmo, and also via the Cash App, $Nelly INKS. We are live, or we're on Twitter and on Instagram at Nelly INKS. Subscribe to twitch.tv/Nelly INKS. If you want some free content, you can read my comics on my website, nelsonanunez.com. Alright, appreciate you guys tuning in now or in the future. Just make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see in the days coming up. So I am going to get off in probably the next 40, and I will also be off tomorrow. I've got some things to do during the day on Thursdays, but if I have enough energy and I have a pretty good setup now where I can just more or less press a couple buttons and I'm live. So if I do have some energy, I'll be on. I'm going to try to be on my off days if I feel well, and even if it's for an hour where I'm just sort of messing around, talking to you people, and maybe getting some drawings done from imagination. But in the meantime, let's get my podcast going here. Okay. I'm going to pull up one reference. Let's just put this glove on now. Okay. Gloves on. I don't have to worry about anything staining me now. All right, so you guys see the example, the page. It ends up. I've always said try to keep your characters on the side for continuity's sake. Keep your characters on the side that they always appear on. So if we go to the very top panel, our character Lydia with the tattoos is on the right, and then we go down and she's a little bit on the left, but it's kind of like a separate panel. It's a panel outside the panel, so she's fine there in my opinion. But then you see her again, she's to the right of all the guards and Alma except for one. And then we go down, she is in another panel by herself, so I think that works. And then Alma enters. And so I think here I'll be able to flip it without messing the continuity, because as Alma comes in, it's sort of established on that page above. So the angle that she's looking at is actually proper. She would be on the left, and Alma's going to be on the right. So I'm going to maintain that relationship here, where you might have. All right, let me hit the 20-minute timer. So when you do your drawings, especially with pencil, I recommend it more with pencil instead of ink, but I really just want to work with ink as much as possible since it's my primary medium, and the quill pen too is one of my primaries. I probably use the pencil more, but I end up retracing so much that, the better I get with the quill pen, maybe the less I need to use a pencil. But anyways, I need to get better with the quill pen because all these lines get inked over, and the straighter my hand is, the more comfortable I am with it, the better the ink job will be. 20-minute timer on now. So I can draw here on this side, just maybe a stick figure or two. So we have, when you're showing action in when you're showing action, you want to have either you want to show the kinetic energy, which is either, if you're going to show someone pitching a baseball, you either want to show right before they wind up, so maybe show like the lowest point. Let's say this is the ball. And then okay, put something like this. Okay, or you want to show, so this is before the action, you either show the action at each point, either from the beginning or the follow through, and as exaggerated as you can. And really follow through with the action. If you just show the gesture in the middle, so um, okay. Okay, so something like that. But you do, so the idea is to draw the action either as it's gathering energy or as the energy is fully expended. If you show anything in the middle, it's just going to, there's going to be too much tension. You know, it's the action is not been resolved, and so that just causes the tension. So you're better off either anticipating or getting the result. So with this over here, I'm going to have slipping a punch from one of the guards. And I'm a big fan of the dab, and I think there should be more dab in art. So you want to show good movement in your compositions here. And keep your shape simple. Again, I showed you guys my the sketch page I did. Anything like this is totally fine, you know, because you could always go afterwards and get references. So okay. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to show up here sort of like the tickle in her nose. And it's going to be, I'm going to probably bring this down actually. Okay. I don't know why I decided to. Mm. Oh, see? I don't know why I couldn't zoom out anymore last time. Alright. Okay. So, another thing that helps you maybe with perspective, again, you want to, let's say you have a sequence of, panels. One, two, three. You want to change up the point of view. So maybe you have a point of view that's low, so you're looking below like this, and just use that. And then you have okay. Actually, you can't really see that, so let me lower this. Okay, so low POV, point of view. Okay, and then the next sequence, or the next panel in sequence, maybe you want to shift it. You don't want to maintain the low point of view. You either go to a high one, and so let's say your object is, so then we'll see more of the floor. Let's see, I'll put a point here and maybe start like that. And so maybe you have a character that's just below our point of view. And here we have a character above our point of view. Also changing the scale of the figure too. So here is a little too close. The two figures are the same size. I should have done this bigger. Let me try this again. Okay. And then you also want to have your vanishing point. Maybe here we'll have somebody standing. And then you want to change the point of view in the second panel. Too many panels with the same point of view, it's going to be boring. Like I said, movement in comics is very important. Not just the way you read a page, like left to right and down and to the right. You also need movement in your gestures and your figures. So this is too static for a figure. It should be maybe standing. You want to give them something that they're doing. Maybe the person's leaning against a light post or something. Looking at his watch. Or, let's see. Alright, so over here, low point of view. Then over here, we're going to shift it. We'll have a high point of view and have a very little figure. So we're looking at the figure from the sky. We can even put a building up here so we can show what we're talking about. And finally, we can get a little balance back to the fours by putting the figure right on our eye level. Same. He's saying, "What's up?" while you're looking at me. Cool. So yeah, two lessons there, three lessons. Change your point of view, change the scale of your figure, and have a figure that is in motion or has a gesture. Let the gesture of the figure be speak for the character. Like I said, you don't need words to tell a story in comics. So let's clean my quill pen. Make sure you guys leave a comment and subscribe. I'm going to be on for 20 more minutes, so I'm just going to restart my timer here. Hope you guys got a little something out of that lesson. Okay, and a little water. Okay. All right. So let's see. Maybe I'll keep this arm up here. All right. Okay. So again, these drawings don't have to be super tight, especially for what I'm trying to do here. I just want to have the direction of the pose. And over here we have maybe the guard punching. Okay, so that's supposed to be a fist. Again, don't get too worried about the drawing. You can always fix it later. We're on a timer, so we're just trying to get an idea of what's going on. One day I'll be so good at drawing from imagination, or get to a certain point where I like the style of my drawings from imagination. But here, so yeah, here, and when you are drawing a figure, think the head's important, but think about where you want things like the hands and the feet. Sometimes we draw something and we don't know where. We know where the head is because it's very, very important for humans to, you know, um, to see an object's face or a person's face. But the hands, especially the hands, have been called the second portrait, which is, portraits are normally faces, but the hands tell their own story. So there we go. So that's Alma. Here's her allergies working as a sort of spidey sense. So you'll see as the story develops, you realize that Alma has a special power, which is also a curse. And she's allergic to everything because there's a lot of evil in the world. Okay. So this could even be the eye level here. And then I want to have a low point of view here. POV. So that's the guard trying to get some revenge on Alma. Since the head is above our eye level, we're going to be looking below the chin. And probably, you can also use speed lines. So in comics, there's a lot of speed lines, especially in it's just like if you have, let's say I have a comet here, the speed lines are this. The speed lines just go towards the object, but these lines, when you do them correctly, they meet at a point, and they meet at a vanishing point. And then if you draw a line horizontally, you'll generally, more often than not, I've seen it in comics where the speed lines meet at a vanishing point, and then when you draw the horizon line, that ends up actually being the eye level line. So use speed lines if you do want to organize your drawing. And speed lines are just generally like a focus on something. So let's say I want to focus on Alma, maybe I throw speed lines looking at Alma, but as they meet there, I create a point in a horizontal, a horizon line that serves as the eye level line. So every point, let's say I make a floor, it's going to also converge there. So okay. Other things that help along with gestures are expressions. So maybe put an expression like that. Okay, she's actually sad. Um, One thing I'll probably want to do in this drawing too is just think about the sections, the four corners of my drawing. So this is probably fine, and I might have a panel here showing Lydia's reaction to all of this. And maybe it'll be an exclamation. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. And let's see how long we've been drawing. Alright. 11 minutes left. Thank you guys for joining me. Alright. I can... Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Okay. So there's Alma about to sneeze. I'll probably have some onomatopoeia over here. Or maybe over here. And then achoo. So a lot of things, everything just adds to the movement and the feeling. So the onomatopoeia, the way you write the words in the text balloons, um, the gestures, the expressions of the characters, the perspectives, the point of view, yeah, the perspective, the size of your character, the scale, and yeah, just so much that goes into it. Um, don't really need the writing to tell the story, although the onomatopoeia isn't. It's kind of like a drawing slash writing. But so there you go. Achu. Over here, you might have my. I'm looking below. I might have my one of the guards here, sort of lacing up his gloves. Okay. Okay, so he's going to be looking at Alma, ready to give her a lesson. Oh, we don't see that. I'll show you here. So he's sort of tightening up his gloves, and she's about to sneeze. And then she finally sneezes and rolls under his punch. And then over here, I'll have his partner sort of surprised. And then this might also be more fences. We'll see how long I can get away with that pattern here. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so he's going to be looking here. And then we might have more perspective lines up here so we can see the ceiling. Okay, so maybe we can zoom out a little bit up. And then here I will have my introduction to Alma. She might actually come out of the panel. I read Hunter x Hunter on my downtimes, and I love the way he sets up his panels. Super simple. He's notoriously simple sometimes, but he's still a very good artist. Hunter x Hunter, go check it out. Alright, so pretty much did what I wanted to do today. Maybe I'll just do a quick lighting effect, looking at my panels that always works. Let me see some example, 22 panels. So this is an extreme close-up of the figure, big scale to the rectangle, and then this is a medium, small-ish scale. Not extremely small, but still you get the full figure. So I think that's good in terms of in terms of scale of the figure. It's not as extreme as the examples I did before. We also changed up the perspective, so we had a low angle and then an even dead center angle. Let's look over here. And how can I ink this? What action? I'm not sure how I want to. This might just be an eye level type of drawing. So this guy will be standing here, like that. So oops. Okay. And finally, what other panel can I copy? Either have a contrast or one big object. And I might actually keep. Okay. Cool. So almost done with this sketch. Hope you guys got a little something out of it. Let's just get down the spots of black. Very rough. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to get off pretty shortly. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, Live Drawing with Nelly. Please subscribe on YouTube. Also, if you can go ahead and register to our Twitch account, twitch.tv/Nelly INKS, channel dedicated to our live stream. Leave me a comment, subscribe. If you guys like the contents of this video and you wish to support, best way to do so is via donation, via the Venmo link at the top of the screen, Venmo at Nelly INKS. Venmo at Nelly INKS if you wish to donate. Make donation the best nation. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to keep up with my comic books and that sort of work from me, you guys can go to my website, nelsonanunez.com. Truly appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Okay, so here's... Okay, so that's right here. Okay. Let's see, horizontal. I think that's fine. We probably don't need this exclamation. We can just have the words themselves actually. Okay. And then we'll have... There you go. Okay. And I might have some special effects, like maybe a light underneath her, just to give her this sort of... Okay. 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 Cool. So, quick little sketch there for the page that I'll be working on next. I'm going to look for references for maybe kids dabbing like that and someone throwing a punch. But nice thing about sketching from imagination is that you get some quirky little things like that. Or maybe my final drawing will obviously have a better foot than that. It's still nice to have, a little looseness with your drawing, and you can't get that if you're always just copying or drawing from imagination. Sorry, if you're, let's say you have a model in front of you and you're drawing him or her, you still need, even if they have a really cool pose, there's still ways to exaggerate the pose and make it really felt. So that's one thing that happens just naturally when you draw from imagination. You're not even thinking about it. You're just working more for the gesture. So this is the gesture, the expression of the pose. And yeah, so think about that if you're ever drawing somebody in front of you, how to accentuate the gesture and the pose that they got going on. But yeah, man, I appreciate you all tuning in. Okay, we had Kit Kat in the chat. Go check out her channel. I'm not sure if she's live now, but I'm going to get off here. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to my Twitch, twitch.tv/nellyinks. You could use all the subscribers. If you guys want to support the channel, we got some free content on my website, nelsonanunez.com, where you could read my comic, Almighty Alma. And if you like it, you can even order yourself a physical copy. Other ways you can support the stream to keep me going is by donation via the Venmo at Nelly INKS. Make donation, be the best nation. Thank you guys so much. Let me get the big screen up. Let me get the big screen up. Let me get the big screen up. Boom. Peace out, guys. This has been fun. Quick 2-hour stream for you guys. Tomorrow is our off day, so you'll probably see the final version of this page on Friday. So, hope you guys had fun. Peace. Be well. Bless up. Ciao, ciao.